right, we're live. I couldn't find the button. Sometimes Substack drives me crazy with all the different the two dashboards, and I don't know. I couldn't find it, but I got it. All right, Storm is here. Hey, Storm and Brian. So we're getting started on the 5-day storytelling challenge. Yay! And I know Storm, you're in England, so you don't have Memorial Day, but a lot of people are either visiting their fallen relatives or having barbecues or something. It's a holiday here. But this was scheduled already, so hey, that's what we're doing. And Corey's here. Oh, yay. Hi, Corey. So good to see you. Um, yeah, Corey and I both escaped California, I believe. Weren't you in California, Corey? I lived there for way too long. Probably more. I lived there longer than I lived any place else in my life, actually. Um, Aha! So Storm has a bank holiday today in jolly old England. So I guess it's just kinda universal, but we're gonna have fun. We're not worried about no work today. We're gonna just, tell some stories and have a good time. And so, hey, Corianne. So did you live in California? Am I wrong on that? I feel like you did, but I could be wrong. And Brian, I believe you just told me where you're from. I forgot already. I know it's the West Coast. But, at any rate, I always try to start this a little bit early because, again, Substack is a little wonky, and it's hard to get things to find where things are, and, like, even people who wanna join, sometimes they're like, "Oh, where's the link?" In fact, I'm gonna go check real quick, so hang tight while I go make sure that everybody's if anybody was wanting to come in, that they're able to find us. Where are we? Alright, it looks like everything's fine. Yeah, I think it is. All right. Very cool. So, oh, yay, Mo is here. Yay, my longtime storytelling vet, Mo. Love to have you here. Yellow. And Sheila's here. Hi, Sheila. Good to see you. Wow, on a holiday, maybe because people are hanging around. I was worried like nobody would be able to show up. And I'd be here by myself, and that's okay too. I made the commitment to be here once a month to do this for 5 days in a row, and it's fun. I really like it. It's one of the few times that I actually use video on Substack is doing this challenge. So we're gonna start in 4 minutes. Look at you. Storm has his familiar out already. You know what? I didn't get mine out. So this is like part of our writing ritual. The paid subscribers that were able to join in and start a writing ritual. The one that I use, and people have different ones. I saw Mo that you said you used to listen to music and now you kind of don't anymore. Maybe you're going to start again. But I like to have this is my little familiar Zot, and I only bring him out when I write, and then I put him away when I'm not writing. Then I forgot to bring him out. So now I should be super creative. He's got like all my creative juices and he fires them up. Ah, and Alan is in the Gulf Coast of Florida. Do you know that I'm going to Sarasota to visit some friends in 2 weeks? I don't know where you're at, Alan, exactly, but I know Sarasota's on the Gulf side. That's all I know. I haven't seen the ocean in forever. These are girls I went to high school with, and we decided we were gonna have a reunion. Oh my gosh. So, hopefully, we still are cool and all that good stuff. Yeah, my Zod is a cute little fellow with copy powers. Rah. Pensacola. Okay, Pensacola, I'm not sure. I have to look at a map because I don't know my Florida geography, but I will look on a map. I know I fly into Tampa, and then my friend is gonna drive me to Sarasota, so I don't have to rent a car. This is very cool. So, all right, 2 more minutes. And, one of the reasons I wanted to tell you guys before we get started, the Northwest Florida is Pensacola. So I'll be at the opposite side of you. So, at any rate, the reason I like doing these storytelling challenges is because I'm noticing, and I'm sure you have too, the landscape of marketing and just everything is changing super fast. It's not just AI, but yeah, AI has a lot to do with it. But storytelling never gets old, and it really catches people's attention no matter what whether you're entertaining or you're selling or whatever you're doing, it gets people, it pulls them in. And one of the reasons it does that is, you'll like this, Storm, and you might even know this already, but what happens in your brain when you read a story is something called neural coupling. And that means that all the senses that you read about, the sights, the sounds, the colors, it lights up parts of your brain. So your brain is experiencing what you're reading in the story as you're reading it. So that happens when you write a story and a reader reads your story, they're feeling those same brain fireworks go off that you felt when you wrote them, which makes the story super connecting to the other person. So it builds trust faster. It's more memorable. People will repeat a story more than they'll repeat, stats, and stuff like that. It's like a shareable thing. It's human nature to tell them. And so the better you can get at storytelling, the better you're going to connect with other humans. So I think it's a really, really valuable skill to have, no matter what, right? You could explain a show that you've seen better when you have storytelling chops. So it's just good all the way around. Boom, it's 11. It's 11 here, and wherever you are in the world, it's straight up on the hour. So we're going to get started. So what I'm going to do is post the link to the chat where you're going to post your story. And I'm getting ahead of myself though. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the photo prompt about, and that's what we're going to write a story about. And on the photo prompt is a 15-minute timer. So people who come in later, they go like, "Oh, what are we doing?" Hopefully they'll figure it out. That's just our system because it's quiet during those 15 minutes because we're writing and I'm writing with you. I know what the photo prompt is ahead of you, but I have no idea what I'm going to write about. I don't really think about it a lot because I want to be on the same page as you guys. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you this prompt and open up a Google Doc or a Word doc or write it out by hand if you want, although it'll take you longer to actually get it posted if you do it that way. But whatever is your way of writing things. Let me get that chat link for you. It is right here. I'm going to post this in our chat, and this is where your stories get posted. Boom. There's that link. There's nothing much going on right now, but let's get us to the prompt. And it's right here. And I'm in a little tiny corner in the bottom there. And this is prompt. And you can see the timer. I have not started it yet, but I'm about to start it. But first, I want to see if anybody has any questions so far about what you're supposed to do. I'm going to start the timer, and you write a story about this prompt, whatever it is that you want. And I want to give you a little hint about like when adding some texture to your story. So you don't have to just write about what's in the foreground. Pay attention to the background. Think about what the timeline of this photo, what happened before, what happened after. You don't have to use all those things in your story, but there are things it's fodder for you to pull together to write your story. So yeah, think of the little details. That's one of the things that these photo prompts is really good at, is helping you to notice small details that you may not notice. And it's not just, yeah, it's a horse, but look at his halter maybe, or the little patches of grass, whatever. There's a body there in the corner that you can barely see. Anything, it's all fair game, and you can just please make sure that it has something to do with what you're seeing, or just write the story so it comes back around to what this photo prompt is. And I'm going to check the chat real quick and make sure everybody's cool. I think I don't see any other posts. I think people can get started. So let me start the timer. And I'll be here writing, and I'll check the chat a few times and make sure that everybody's on board. When you're done, just paste your story into that chat link that's in the chat. There's two chats. There's our chat that we have, and then there's the chat where you post the stories. So I'm going to start the timer. Ready, set, go. Oh, wow, the timer went off. Sorry. Thank you. Thank you. I thought I clicked there was sound. Thanks so much, Mike. So, I ran out of time. I have a cat here. You need to move. Okay. Um, it goes fast, doesn't it? Those 15 minutes. So, thank you guys for stepping up and sharing the link for the people who came a little bit later because I know it's a little confusing if you come in and you're like, what's going on? There's a timer and a picture. What's happening? So, I appreciate you guys so much helping out. That's wonderful. So we can hear now, right? Yes? Thumbs up? Thumbs up? Um, okay, that's cool. So Alan's gonna post his later. That's totally fine. You guys, you can't please don't spend a lot of time editing it because that ruins the whole purpose of this. Just like kind of brain dump, get it out and post it as much as possible so you can hear me. Yay. Okay, let's look and see what we have in the chat here. As far as stories go, I had a hard time with this one. I mean, finishing it, really. I was having fun writing it, and then the timer just ran out on me. So here we go. We've got Mo, we've got Corey, we got Storm. Let's start with Storm. Corny's first birthday. Have you ever had a birthday where everything just goes wrong? Well, this wasn't such a birthday. This was the kind of birthday where everything goes right. No, really, you couldn't make this up even if you tried. It was a hot morning, the kind that makes you sweat just thinking about the heat, the kind that makes you think twice about moving, the kind that has you wondering what you can throw out of the fridge so you can crawl in there. I like that. That's cute. With every ounce of effort I could muster, we headed over to Corny's stall in the barn. As we opened Corny's stall door, you could feel the cool breeze wash over us as though someone had just opened a freezer in the desert and turned the fan up high. Oh, that sounds heavenly. Very nice texture here. A lot of good stuff going on. From that moment on, the day was pleasant, cool, and even the wilted flowers came back to life. We all gathered under the gazebo to celebrate Corny's birthday. Happy birthday to you. We all started singing as Samantha rounded the corner with the triple decker strawberry cake with delectable pink strawberry frosting. She tripped and the cake went flying. You know, the kind of flying like in the movies, slow motion. You could just see the cake coming apart, but instead of smashing it into the ground, sorry, I lost my place. It suddenly started floating and gliding right up to the table, landing perfectly back into a triple-decker cake with a tiny white unicorn on top. We all stared speechless. Even Samantha was speechless. She You see, instead of falling over, she somehow miraculously regained her balance. We looked at each other, then we looked at Corny, whose white mane had turned rainbow-colored, and that's when it hit us. Corny was a unicorn. I love it. I love it. I went the unicorn angle as well. But that's just such good stuff going on there. Lots of sensory and a little fantasy thrown in there. I really like that. Nice. Let's look at what Mo's got going on. Bam! The tablet screen went smack up Dad's nose. Little Timmy rushed to wake Dad early Sunday morning only to hear it's 7:15. Go away. Did that discourage him? Not one bit. He shoved the screen right back in Dad's face until he couldn't ignore it. You promised me if I got an A. What? Daddy snapped back, only to see the school report card come out of the little fella's pocket. All crumbled, but a deal was a deal. Taking Todd on a trip to the farm, little Timmy pointed to their pet German Shepherd pup. I need to find him a friend. He's got you, son. Daddy tried to squash the plan. Plop. That's the sound of ice, Daddy. Up and away. Up and away. Little Timmy knew there was something There was nothing Daddy loved more than iced coffee. Oh, he knows how to get to Daddy. 20 minutes later, they were off to the farm. Whoosh. That was the sound of the little dude exiting the car like Speedy Gonzales. This one, this one, that's a rabbit. Daddy turned down the idea. How about this one, green and cute? Abort, abort, mommy will throw us out of the house at the sight of a chameleon. The conversation stopped for a good minute. Little Timmy's eyes opened wide as the sun in excitement. I see. So as wide as the sun in excitement. Yes. This one for sure. New hairstyle and both me and Todd can ride it to school. Cool. Daddy was expecting to see another rabbit until he turned his head. What? Where are we going to keep him? Look, Daddy likes candy just like me. I love all this that's very cool. I don't know where they're gonna keep him, but it's I guess a deal is a deal. Let's see what we've got with, Diane, yeah, this is what you tried to paste in the chat where we paste in this chat, and so thank you, Storm, for or Ellie, I'm not sure who redirected her, but that's very cool. A horse with a rainbow mane. Wow, does that bring me back? I love rainbows. Why? They give me hope and turn my eyes to the heavens. I don't care who is wearing the rainbow, I'll follow them or ride them, in this case, into the future. I'm reminded that I need to anchor my everyday habits into my heart, my real self, and be happy with what I have and what living creature is in the room with me. When I do, I become my greatest asset, open, honest, and ready to live. I like that. It's got a little moral going on at the same time. All right. And here's Brian. I'm here for Fraser's birthday. Charles's expression read, only what little Fraser wanted to hear. 2 weeks ago, the 5-year-old was only ever watching, talking, and fighting evil with his unicorn friends. He liked Spider-Man too, but Fraser did what he sometimes did. He changed his mind. It was his birthday, and Mom had to shift gears fast. She had the Spider-Man plates, napkins, and web-slinging wristbands that shot foam at the press of a button. Sounds like a fun party. It wasn't going to be today. Luckily, Susan, Mom's childhood friend, lived only 5 minutes away, and Susan knew Charles. Rather, Charles was one of the several horses she took care of at the family ranch. Until yesterday, Charles's mane was a shining white. Today, it was every color little Fraser loved, because he loved them all and he couldn't stand being contained to just one color. So here Charles stood, ready to be exactly what he needed to be. And today, that was a high flying, powerful, real, live unicorn. Susan was standing beside him with horn in hand. Nice. I love it. I guess unicorn is kind of it kind of screams unicorn, doesn't it? And there's mine about a unicorn over there. I want to read what you guys wrote. You can read mine later. It just kind of stopped. It was a little dark. Sometimes my stories come out a little dark. But anyway, let's read what Ellie wrote. When Trixie and Jackie first met, Trix was a yearling and Jax was a chaotic 10-year-old. Jack wanted a pony her whole life. She wanted a chestnut thoroughbred who she'd race at the track and enjoy champagne with her winnings and thank yous from people who bet on her. The reality was different. Having a pony meant learning to ride properly and getting scared when Trix went fast, and grooming and mucking out stalls and oiling tack. No one told her how much work it would be. Tell me about it. Or that horses are like people. They want you to connect with them, not just treat them like a cool car. But it all changed the day that Jackie got her heart broken. Jackie was out for a ride with her crush, another strong young girl who loved to ride but didn't want to see Jackie as more than a friend. So now Trix is nicer with Jackie. Let's dress her up and ride her at the Pride Parade, and loves her sweetheart. Nice. I like that. We brought a little pride into the mix here too. Oh, yay, Storm 2 is here too. Um, Storm Junior, Storm the Second. Right, Octavia and her dedicated equestrian racehorse Lily have been practicing for weeks on end to be able to compete in the 2026 State Horse Race Champion or competition for a chance to win a $1,000 prize ball and to be selected to represent her state in the 2026 National Horse Racing Competition. The day had finally come for Octavia and Lily to show the state what they're made of. On her way to the competition, she had heard her favorite station, Airwave Central, broadcasting to millions of listeners about the competitions taking place nationwide, and that they will be paying a special random visit to West Indian, the same competition that Octavia will be competing in. She could barely contain her excitement, but she knew she had to stay focused. I've lost my place here. Da, 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 da. Okay. She ar- she arrives at the competition. The stakes are high. Not only will she be competing against five other skilled equestrian riders, but she will be on live television. She's giving Lily a pep talk before the race starts. Though it was more Lily giving Octavia a pep talk. Lily had always been there for Octavia. She had always been her escape from reality. The racers are getting ready to start. Octavia takes one deep breath before the whistle goes off. For a moment, things are just quiet. There's a lot of tension in this. I like it. I like this very, it keeps you on edge and wanting to read more, as if the whole world had just frozen. She couldn't hear the referee giving the usual countdown. All she did was lock her eyes ahead like a cheetah locking onto a gazelle. Nice visual, by the way. Her ears tuned to the high pitched sound of the whistle. High pitched whistle goes off. I like how you did that too. How you did the sound in like a little um asterisks, right? Is that what they're called? Lily kicks into high gear, Octavia guiding her through the dust as a stampede of horses races um, to the finish line. Another side note. I like also how you put this in the present tense. That's one of the things that I like to have people do with story that I don't do all the time, but it makes it more in the moment, right? So I like that you did that. Okay, where are we at with me praising Storm? One rider was inches away from victory until Octavia and Lily used the last of their energy to dart across the finish line. She won. The crowd cheered for her, and so did the people at home watching her on television. Placing first gave Octavia a burst of adrenaline. She's now off to the championship, the national championship. Nicely done. All right. And then here we have Corianne. Yay. Uni and me. I like also that, and I didn't do it, but when you give them a headline, sometimes we don't have the time or a title, I should say. Sometimes we don't have time. Like for me, I literally wrote, I think even past the timer because I wasn't watching and there's not a ding. But so that's cool. Uni and me. Uni tried her darndest to get me to smile. For a horse, she does have a good sense of humor. I don't know how she did it, but she convinced me to dye her mane in a rainbow pattern. I suppose horses need a change occasionally too. Now, when I see her coming back in the back pasture, I smile and she whinnies. Uni is short for unicorn. I know. You're probably thinking who would name their horse Unicorn? A 7-year-old girl who wanted nothing more than to have her very own unicorn did. Every Halloween, I would add the single horn carefully balanced between her ears. She always tolerated this silliness until we couldn't do it anymore. Now I sit in the window seat in the front window of my first bedroom floor. The room used to be the living room, but my parents converted it after the accident. It makes it easier to get the wheelchair around and to maneuver my body. I often wonder what Uni thinks when she sees me. I hope she doesn't think it was her fault because it's not. It never was, and I never thought she intentionally hurt me. It was the damn snake. We live in on a large New Mexico ranch. This is very touching. Oh my goodness. It's very moving. Wow. Okay, so we live on a large New Mexico ranch, and every day for as long as I can remember, I would go out with Uni for a long, rambling ride through the sagebrush until we got down to the Rio Grande. That was our favorite place to hang together. I would leap off her back and make my way to a huge pinyon tree where I would plant myself to read the book I was reading at the time. Uni would prance over the river and wade in to get her legs wet. I suppose in her old age, the cool water made things less painful and creaky. 6 months ago, things changed and we haven't been down to the river since. I miss the smell of pinyon, and the flow of the water as it makes its way down to Mexico. Instead, I've had 4 surgeries, a blood infection, and a cold twice. That last day down at the river, when we were ready to head home, I leaped onto Uni's back, and as we circled an old fallen tree that we had meandered past hundreds of times, my dad says hid, hid Billy the Kid sat hid under it when he was running from the law. Uni spooked when a rattle started playing. She hurled herself onto her back legs, and before I had a chance to grab her mane, I toppled hard onto a limestone ridge. I hit hard and was out before I knew what happened. Uni nudged me awake, but I couldn't move. I was breathing, but it hurt, and Uni knew it. She nudged me a few more times to see if I would get up, but I kept telling her it hurt. When I started to cry, she took off running towards the ranch house. I lost consciousness and baked in the afternoon sun while my best friend went and got help. Wow. That is like surprising. You fit a lot in there. There's a lot of description. You obviously know this area. I think that's where you live now, maybe in New Mexico. But regardless, you really made that come to life with those details. So well done, guys. That was super fun. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing. Was I even sharing? Didn't share, did I? I've just been reading these stories. I'm so sorry. Sorry about that. Um, but at any rate, yeah, I didn't share. You can go read read them on the chat yourself. You don't wanna be narrated by my storytelling reading. But at any rate, yeah, sorry. So you just got to see me reading. Very exciting. At any rate, we will be thank you guys. This was really fun and a really great turnout. And we'll be here again tomorrow and every day this week. If you can make it, please pop in and we will start. I'll open the room a little bit before 11 because I like to start as close to 11 as possible. That's, in my time in Pacific time, 2 p.m. in Eastern. And until then, yeah, lots of stories, lots of stories. Very cool. I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care.